I'm Helen.
And I'm Liz.
And we're sisters,
Scientists.
and lifelong X-Files fans.
And this is We Want to Believe.
All right, welcome to this week's episode. We are talking about the X-Files episode Fallen Angel.
Yes, a very good one.
And it seems like they're really starting to get things together, get things down. It's starting to feel like the X-Files, like the show we know.
Yes, and it felt like a very big change from last week. Like, space was kind of goofy and rough.
Weird.
I mean,
yeah.
And then this week it was like, oh, I'm watching the X-Files.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
Good.
It felt
good.
like I'm watching the X-Files. Yeah. Before we get to that, I have a couple of updates.
I have one as well, but you go first.
Awesome. Well, I'll go
actually, mine are more boring.
Mine is real boring and then interesting. My boring one is I used that app to deposit a check and it worked. So thanks, Helen. I was like, oh, I got this check. I got to go to the bank. And then I was like, but wait. And I had a couple issues where I took the picture bad and I had to rotate it. But, you know, it was better than driving to the bank.
Yeah,
so,
welcome to 2022.
It's exciting.
Or welcome to like 2018.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
My boring update is that you, if you are listening to this, may be super confused by the episode numbers at this point. Things have gotten weird. I have messed up.
Why did you do this?
I don't know.
Oh, this is because of the bonus episode, isn't it?
This is because of the bonus episode. So I had to give the bonus episode a number. And so it was number 8 because the one before it was 7.
That's how numbers work.
That's how numbers work. And so then when I went to do episode 9, it was episode 8 of the X-Files.
Yes.
Things are getting confused. I think I made some errors. So, deal with it.
Deal with it. Yeah, you can survive this.
Yeah.
Just look at the X-Files episode title and go by that.
Yes.
Because we're going to have other bonus episodes and things will happen. And
we're doing them in order. So, just follow in order.
Yeah. And, this is the whateverth number of our podcast.
Right. That's where it's getting confusing.
Yeah.
So
just trust that that's how many episodes of our podcast there are.
Yes.
Yes.
Deal. All right. So go for your more interesting update.
Yes. So a few weeks ago, we solicited paranormal stories from listeners, and I have one to share.
Yay!
This is from Katie, our friend Wolf. And when she was about 13 or 14, she went on a ghost tour of Chicago.
Oh.
And she was with her family. She said she is very easily scared, especially when she was 13 or 14.
That surprises me. She would be one of the people that I would pick to be least scared of things. But
yeah, I could see that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you seem very
no
tough,
nonsense.
Wolf. Yeah, absolutely. She's a PhD in chemistry.
Plays roller derby
person. Yeah. Anyhow, she is afraid of things, which means, I have a limited number of people to watch horror movies with in my life.
Yeah, I'm not one of them anymore. She's not up for it.
You're not, Adam's not. No, I'm like, Amanda said mostly she watches HGTV, although we are watching some scary stuff together sometimes. Anyway, so she's on this ghost tour when she's like 13 or 14, and they stop in this alley where supposedly this little boy had died, and the guide said that sometimes young women will feel the little boy's fingers reaching out to try to hold their hand. Oh. Before he even said that, Wolf felt something tingling on her fingers, like almost electricity-ish, like something she never felt before. It wasn't like a breeze.
Oh.
Yeah. And so we talked about it and said, maybe, because she was like, do you think there could be some sort of physics explanation? And it sounds kind of like the feeling you might get if you're standing by a Van de Graaff generator, and so you're feeling charge in the air, and your hairs on your arm are responding to an electric field. But how would you just have that in an alley? That's what doesn't make sense to me.
Part of your body.
Right. Yes.
And also, as we learned from that episode, Shadows, that's how you feel like. Didn't we talk about the hair standing up stuff during that episode? With the ghosts? With the ghost of the boss?
I know we talked about it somewhat because I talked a lot about static electricity in that episode. So
Yeah.
So
as the X-Files have
it makes
taught us.
sense. Yeah.
Oh, that's so creepy. Oh, man.
And she said that the guide asked, "Did anyone feel anything?" And she said she just shook her head no. So
I can imagine being 13 or 14 and being like, I don't want to talk to this guy and say this in front
I
of
feel
all
like
these
I would be
people.
like, I feel it and get me out of here. This is like, tour's over. I once bolted out of a haunted house at 18. So,
I have never gotten past the front door of a haunted house because I've been too scared.
See, I feel so much better hearing that because I feel like what sort of person at 18 has to be taken out a side exit? I was just, because
I was
deal with
14.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because my whole deal with haunted houses, my thinking.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Listeners, my deal with haunted houses is that a real killer could get by in there for kind of a little while before someone noticed something was amiss because it would seem like it was just really well done.
Kind of a little while being like 10 minutes. I mean, like, how long are they going to, just until they kill someone, and then it's pretty obvious.
They're like, let's say they kill someone, and they're like, killing him, and they're like, there's the dead body, and they're like, stab, stab, and the people coming through are like, ooh, that's really good special effects, and then the people working there are busy doing their own thing.
But then the people that came with that person are like, hey, where's the person we came with?
Oh, yeah. Fair enough.
You know all those solo trips you take to the haunted house? Need a little downtime.
Yeah, fair enough.
But for like 10 minutes, sure.
Yeah, about 10 minutes.
Yeah. I am just scared for the same reason in that New Girl episode that Nick Miller is.
Why is he
if you
scared?
remember,
I
Jess
don't.
is working in a haunted house, and there's not a particular reason. He's just terrified of everything and shrieking the whole time.
Oh, okay.
And it very much reminds me of how I would be if I chose to do that.
Scary mental hospitals, and I don't like when they have scary clowns, and I don't like when they mix the two and there's some sort of clown doctor.
Nope. I once heard for anyone who listens to My Favorite Murder, they have one of their mini episodes where they read listener stories. There is one where a woman wrote in about her experience, and it was very well written, and there's other stuff to say about it, but she was working in I believe it was a funeral home, and there was a guy there dressed like a clown one day ready to attack her.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Do you think people who work as clowns are ever buried in their clown makeup?
Huh.
Because I feel like that would be awesome, honestly. If I were a clown, I feel like that would be a hilarious thing to do.
Do they have like other clowns standing by their grave instead of like the gun salute? They have like a squeaky horn or something?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I don't know. I don't know many clowns or any.
I know. I'm like one step removed from knowing one.
Yeah.
Jake Prickett's mother. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so on that note, though, thank you, Wolf. That was an excellent story.
Yeah.
I was thinking it would be fun to do a whole bonus episode with listener write-in paranormal stories eventually.
Yes.
So please send them to us in your own words, and we'll read your email because I think that would be really fun. So if you have them, write them in.
Once we get enough, we'll do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah. Scare us. Tell us creepy stuff.
Yes, please.
Or also, you got stories about clown funerals.
Yeah.
I know. Because that's going to happen. I'm sure someone's going to be like, oh, of course, Liz.
You never know.
We've got, friends helping us who are veterinarians and dentists and chemists and clowns, funeral home people. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's start with Fallen Angel.
Yeah.
I have to be honest. I mean, I told you this already, but I'll be honest with everyone. I did not finish this episode, which sucks because I really liked it and was really enjoying it. But then, my stupid job got in the way.
Life.
So,
yeah.
What are you going to do? So I was about half the way through, really enjoying it. I do have notes for the first half.
Cool. Then I'll just kind of fill you in on the second half.
Sounds good. And I vaguely remember, because I feel like I've watched this one several times because it's good.
Yeah.
So I vaguely remember. But anyway, it takes place in Townsend, Wisconsin.
Which is a real place.
Is it? Yep. I was going to look that up.
It is a real place. They say in the show that it's a town of 12,000 people. Mm-hmm. No. In reality, as of the 2000 census, it had 963 people.
Oh,
So, yeah,
whoa.
much smaller than the X-Files makes it out to be. Also, it seems to have a port on the X-Files episode. It's not on a lake. Yeah, no. But there is
It's
a
in,
Townsend,
like-
Wisconsin, and it is up north.
Oh,
And
okay.
so, like, the foresty aspect does work, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I noticed they mentioned County Road G7.
Oh,
Did you look that up at all?
I did not.
Our
That's
county
not how we
roads-
name our county roads.
No, it's not. We always have, I mean, County Road G, if they said, I'd buy that.
Yeah.
But we don't ever have numbers after
Yeah.
them. I did really like the entire time the implication that Mulder could just be walking around the forests of Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's so
that
true.
made me really, really
It makes you want to, like, I don't have a lot of motivation to go hiking, but that might be what it takes.
Yeah.
If there's like a small but non-negligible chance that Mulder is in a forest in Wisconsin,
Yeah.
yeah. So we see something creepy in the forest, as we
Yep.
do,
And there's a policeman who's investigating it.
and he gets killed in a flashing light sort of way. A little bit cheesy, but it's okay.
Yeah.
And then we hear, we get the theme, and then we hear that it's being reported as a toxic spill from a train accident,
Right.
which is clearly not true.
Yeah.
My notes just say Mulder sneaking around taking pictures, laser fence.
Yeah, yeah. They also, before we see the laser fence, I actually wrote laser fence ? Because I don't think that was another thing I was planning on
Yeah.
looking up. I don't believe laser fences, at least like that, are a thing.
I mean, I just don't think you would see the laser beam like that. It needs
Yeah.
to have some sort of medium.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, when you think about like a laser pointer, like it has to
Right.
land on something. Or if you like clap chalk dust, you can see it in the air.
Right.
But you don't just see it shining through like that.
No. I mean, this was like a very, like, it was basically a fence, except instead of metal bars or whatever, it was just lasers.
Red laser beams, yeah.
Yeah. But before that, we see people in Colorado, army-looking people, talking about how they've picked up something
Right, of course.
unidentified off the coast of Connecticut, and they just saw it land outside of Townsend, Wisconsin. And two of the people are, you know, like, oh, what is this? And the guy in charge is not having it. He's like, clearly faulty equipment, and just, you know, brushing him off. And then
Right.
we see him on the phone and says, he's saying to someone, we have a confirmed fallen angel. Mobilize
Yeah.
Operation Falcon.
Yeah.
So they are, so they're claiming that toxic waste spilled, and so they need to evacuate Townsend to be able to clean it up from, it spilled from a railroad track. And then we see Mulder talking to Deep Throat,
Yes.
which was very exciting.
Yeah. Oh, and Helen, wait till you hear about what Deep Throat says at the end of this episode. Ooh, I'd forgotten. Ooh. Okay.
Oh, man. So then Mulder told him that Colonel Henderson is heading Operation Falcon. Prior to this, I'd been referring to the military guy in charge as a captain. And so then I put in my notes, whoops, he's a colonel. The colonel is part of a crash retrieval unit, and Deep Throat says there's about 24 hours before the whole area is sanitized, and it's like nothing ever happened. And so we see Mulder in the woods again,
Yeah.
climbing around a laser fence.
Yeah. And then he's taken by the military, of
Yeah.
course,
Yes.
and yelled at for
Yep.
breaching security.
Which, like, fair. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, I think they're being jerks and it's
Right.
overkill, but also, like, I'm not super surprised.
yeah.
And there's another prisoner, and it's Max Fennig.
I know. That was so exciting.
Yeah, he shows up again. He's a good figure. He uses that phrase "trust no one," which shows
Yeah.
up in the X-Files a lot. I think that's the first time we hear it because
Yep.
he's trying to get Mulder to say who he is, and Mulder won't say anything. And he's like, "Oh, I get it. Trust no one."
Yeah.
Max is another prisoner. He's got long hair. He's kind of goofy, and
It's
he's
clear
wearing
he's some sort of, like, UFO seeking person that,
Yeah.
you know, he's not like Mulder is. He's not another FBI agent or something. He's just a normal guy.
yeah, well, not a normal
Well,
guy, but
no,
yes,
not a-
it's not like part of his job.
Yes.
And he's wearing a baseball cap with the initials NICAP, and it's a group to look into aliens. And Helen, I don't know if you looked this up, but NICAP is real.
Oh,
or at least it was real. It's unclear if it is/was. I couldn't quite determine that, at least
Tell me
not
more.
quickly. It was founded in the 1950s to investigate aliens, and they have argued that the government is covering up evidence of aliens.
Oh.
And they've always struggled with funding. They got a little bit more popular in like the 60s. Some people seem to think they're kind of crackpots. J. Allen Hynek said they're one of the best civilian UFO groups of their time.
Really?
Is that name familiar to you?
Yeah.
That is the guy that founded, I've brought him up before, he is the Northwestern astronomy professor who founded CUFOS, which is the other alien group that still exists and is in Chicago.
Whoa. Cool.
So I was like, hey, I know that name. I'm
Oh my
learning
gosh.
stuff about real alien folks.
People.
Yeah.
Real aliens.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Awesome.
And so
right.
the military, though, going back to that, the military wants to shut down the X-Files. I wrote here, drink, because I feel like if there were an X-Files drinking game, anytime somebody wants to shut them down, take a drink.
That would be like a real long game, drinking game.
I mean, maybe there'd be a lot of things. It's a work
Sure.
in progress.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You take a drink like once every couple of weeks.
Yeah. Or no, you just you binge watch episodes.
Oh, sure.
Like all
So
day.
once every couple
and
of hours.
Occasionally get mildly buzzed. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's one of many rules of a game I have not
Sure.
yet invented.
Trust no one would probably be another.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So Scully comes in and is pissed at Mulder for being out there in the woods and getting captured. And
Yeah.
she tells him that the section chief wants to shut down the X-Files, like you just said. She agrees that they're lying about something, but doesn't think it's a UFO. And then they hear helicopters outside while they're talking, and Mulder says they must be looking for the pilot.
Right. Oh, and Scully says it's a downed Libyan jet with a nuclear warhead.
Right.
And said that she found that out from classified information.
Right.
And Mulder says it's a highly classified lie.
Yeah. And then we see the laser fence again, back at the lasers, and we see some sort of weird ripple in the air trying to get around it.
Alien cam.
Alien cam. And it does.
Yeah.
And so
it's breached the fence.
it's breached the fence. Mulder and Scully go back to Mulder's hotel. He wants to stay another night and investigate more, but they have a hearing at 10 a.m. the next day in D.C. about,
Something
Mulder
else.
getting arrested,
Yeah.
presumably.
Oh, yeah.
And they go into his hotel room and see that it's been trashed.
Right.
So they see a guy
Of course.
climbing. Of
Drink.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think this is like the fourth, at least third, maybe fourth trashed hotel room they've had.
Oh, gosh, we should have been keeping count. You're
I
right.
know it's at least the third.
Okay.
Because it happens in the first episode.
Yeah.
It happens in the episode Conduit,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think. It definitely happens to the family in
Or
Conduit.
is her door just open in the
door
hotel
is
in
just
Conduit?
open. You're
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Still, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like that's
It's their stuff is being messed with. I would seriously,
Yeah.
if I'm them, I'm keeping all my stuff in like a big plastic tub with a big lock on it or something.
yeah, totally.
Somebody's
Like in
gonna
your
break
car
You've got
trunk.
like a 1 in 4 chance that someone's going to come in and bust up your hotel room.
They see a guy climbing out of the window, and it's Max.
And Max had recognized Mulder. He's well aware of Mulder, and he cites some article that Mulder wrote, and he's like, I wrote that under a pseudonym. And yes, Mulder, how would anyone have ever figured out that you were using the pseudonym M.F. Luter? Like, I know it's an acronym, but if you're already looking for Fox Mulder,
Yeah.
yeah.
Aren't you supposed to be a
I don't mean
Cambridge
acronym.
educated?
I don't mean acronym. What do I mean?
Anagram.
There we go.
Yeah, anagram.
Ooh.
We're not going down that road
No.
again.
Yeah.
He has a trailer parked outside, and so he wants to show Mulder and Scully some stuff. And so they go in the trailer, and they're poking around, and he's kind of showing Mulder something, and Scully sees a bottle of Meloril, which is the name of a first-gen antipsychotic, which is primarily used to treat schizophrenia. And so we're kind of shown that. And then he, I want to say shows them, he
Plays them?
plays for them, thank you, radio transmissions that he had recorded the night that the crash happened. of someone frantically requesting a medevac, which, like, I don't know. I feel like, well, that could be from a train crash, though, right, Matt?
Yes.
Like, it didn't seem super convincing to me, but whatever. Then we see the colonel again. So it jumps ahead, and he's assuring someone that it won't get away this time.
I have that exact quote written down.
Not this time.
Yeah.
And then they are at the evacuation center, which is at the high school. And Mulder and Scully are going to talk to a woman who's at the evacuation center with a young boy. And we find out she's the widow of the police officer who was killed.
And she's quite hostile, and I don't blame her.
Nope. No. She says they won't even release his body. And she doesn't want Mulder and Scully to get involved because they, again, whoever they are, fair, said if she spoke to anyone, they would withhold her husband's pension, which is just so
evil.
shitty.
Yeah.
And then we see military guys, again, who are saying they've tracked something moving at 7 miles per hour after hearing a loud screeching sound. And presumably this is the pilot of the aircraft. And that is when I had a meeting with a student.
Oh, let's go.
So,
all right. So,
also, I did want to say, I noticed this before I had to turn off. 7 miles per hour, like, that's fast for, like, a normal person, but, like, that's not, like,
I mean, like,
alien
Adam
fast.
runs that fast. Like, it's like 7 miles an hour.
Right.
I think if I sprinted, if there was like a really cute greyhound and I needed to get to it fast, I could run at 7 miles an hour. You could too. Absolutely. Because I've sprinted at 6.6 miles an hour on a treadmill.
Oh, okay.
Like,
okay.
where you can see the speed.
I like to quote Jerry Seinfeld and say that I choose not to run. There are very few situations that will get me running.
Chasing Leo down the street.
Chasing Leo down the street, yeah. My
Leo's
dog.
a dog, yeah.
He's a notorious escape artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did once give myself an asthma attack running after him because it was January and there was a bunch of snow and I was having to run so hard through these big drifts of snow trying to get to him.
Is that the time you caught him because he finally stopped to poop?
I don't know. There have been so many times. I don't know. Then there was the time that me and the kids were out and I get a phone call and it's this guy saying, I think I have your dog. And we were like at the park and then going to get lunch. And I was like, what? Like, your dog. It says his name is Leo. Is that your dog? And I was like, And so we, thank God, someone got him. And so we went and got him and got home. And I was like, what the heck though? Like, we locked the door was shut.
Yeah.
And I had left our bedroom window open and he had hopped on our bed and then busted through the window and jumped out of it.
Oh, Leo. He's an escape artist.
He's an escape
he really
artist.
Is. Yeah.
So, okay. All right.
All right. So,
What
the alien,
happened?
so we got the military guys in like a parking garage looking for the
Okay.
alien who's like invisible, shows up, starts blasting them all. So they're all like damaged and it looks like he's doing.
The alien starts blasting the military
Yeah, the alien
guys?
starts
Okay.
doing the thing that he did to the cop in the beginning.
Gotcha.
And again, we can't see this alien. No one can. It's like invisible. He's all these military guys are blasted. Then they show Mulder and Scully at the hospital, and they're trying to advocate for the cop's wife to get his body and to like learn about his condition. And the cop is like, I can't say anything. I can't say anything. And they're like kind of pressing him and like what happened. And then the cop kind of sighs and is like, I hate fascists. And
What?
Yeah. And it was awesome. He's like, they came in here, these military guys, and were bossing us around. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he's like, all right, like, I hate fascists. I'm going to tell you guys. And he ends up being really awesome. And I wrote, I love him.
This is another cop?
Nope, sorry. This is the doctor. This is the ER doctor who dealt with the cop. And he was getting bossed around by this colonel.
Totally.
And while they're there and they're talking to him and he's saying, the cop had radiation burns, like nothing I've ever seen, ionizing radiation. Then all the military men who had just gotten blasted by the alien start being brought into the hospital. The colonel is there. and he's being a big jerk, and he's saying Mulder and Scully have to leave. And the doctor is like, this is my place. Scully is staying. We are short-staffed, and she's a medical doctor.
Good.
And so Scully gets to stay, and she's going to help, but Mulder has to go. And so Mulder goes back to see Max, and Max is having a seizure.
Oh.
And so while he's kind of resting, and Mulder's kind of helped him and gotten him on the couch and whatever, Mulder sees he has this triangular-shaped scarring behind his ear.
Okay.
It's kind of very, like, deliberately, like, two sides of a triangle, like a V turned on its side.
Wait. Two sides of a triangle. Oh, like a V? I mean,
Yeah,
just
like a V, but turned. I don't know. It seemed triangular to me, but then as I was saying it, I was like, this is just a V, isn't it?
Okay.
It's just a V-shaped scar. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It is kind of weird. So Mulder is like, he goes back and he's doing research because he's seen this before, and he starts seeing, he's got like pictures from people who've said they've been abducted who have similar scarring, and he's got like pictures from the 70s, and he's looking at them. Scully comes in the hotel room, and she's like, that was really rough. All but 2 of the men have died. 2 of them are in critical condition. And so Mulder starts laying out this theory that Max is an abductee. And he's like, I've seen these symptoms before. I've seen this scarring. And that's when Scully brings up the Millaril, which is the schizophrenia medication, which I checked. Is this a real medication? It is.
It is, yeah.
Discontinued in '05, but still the generic exists or something.
Right. Did she say Millaril? Because I thought it was Mellaril.
I thought she said Millaril, but
okay. I could be wrong.
No, we shouldn't probably trust my
that's
pronunciation.
Fine. Let's just trust Scully.
Yeah. Well, I might be remembering it wrong. I don't know. Anyway,
yeah.
Whatever it is, she's like, Max is a schizophrenic. Max saying he's been abducted doesn't mean anything. And Mulder's like, I don't know. Max doesn't say he's been abducted. I say he's been abducted. It would explain his obsession with UFOs. It would explain a lot of things.
Yeah.
Then we see more higher up people kind of like monitoring the radar or whatever, again, kind of like in the beginning of the episode. And there's, again, someone saying something weird is happening in the sky over Townsend, Wisconsin. And they're like, it's just a meteor. You know, like the boss is saying, nope, that's just a meteor. And the other person is like, well, the meteor is hovering over a town. And then at that point, Max is alone, and we see him, and his ears start bleeding, and he's like in a lot of pain, and he runs to the docks that are fictional, you know.
Yep.
And Colonel Henderson and his men head down to the docks to go look for Max. It is unclear to me how they knew to go find him there, but that's possibly that I just spaced out or something, you know.
Okay.
But they're looking for Max, and he's like, take him. Like, they clearly think Max is somehow involved. If he's the pilot, it's like, I don't know what they think Max's deal is, but they're going to go get him. And they think the alien is around there. And Max is like staggering and in pain in this warehouse.
That's interesting because they had him, presumably, because he was in that cell, and then they let him go. I mean, I'm guessing we're not supposed to think he somehow escaped.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I know.
Okay.
But they're definitely trying to get him. And so Mulder goes and finds Max in this warehouse. And then we see, and it's like a big, dark warehouse with a lot of stuff in it. And Mulder is with Max. Max is in pain. And we see the alien is somehow in there as well. And there's military people on the outside using like infrared to see inside, and they say there's 3 forms in the structure. And so we know it's like Mulder, Max, and this alien that's like invisible. Right. And it's very sad, I thought. Max is like, I don't want to be abducted. Don't let them take me again. Don't let them take me again. Oh. And then the alien zaps Mulder like he does with his zapping, except not as bad. And Mulder just kind of flies through the air and lands, and then it's like, Max is gone. But then, nope, Max is not gone. He's floating in a beam. And
where? In the warehouse?
In the warehouse. He's kind of suspended in the air in the warehouse, all out of it, 10 feet up in the air or whatever.
Right.
Just kind of hanging there, floating. And this is a second time we've seen someone hovering in the air. The other time was in shadows. So I'd kind of like to keep track of that as well.
Oh, actually, what about in the first episode, the pilot, too?
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 3. All right.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to outside with the military people again, and they're like, now I only see one figure in the building.
Oh.
And it's Mulder, and Max is gone. they've taken him, and the alien is also gone.
Oh.
And so the colonel has Mulder arrested, and then they're back in Washington at this responsibility hearing for Mulder.
Oh,
and
God.
they're questioning Scully about things, and they're asking her about, like, did he fill out forms for travel expenses? And, like, this is unfortunately way too close to my own real life right now. And I was just like, because literally about 2 hours before I was watching this episode, or like around that time, I was trying to figure out how to do group travel expenses for a student trip I'm leading, which is
God.
just torture.
It's torture.
It is.
I mean,
yeah.
I have not
literally.
done the same.
Yeah.
But any sort of requisition form.
Bureaucracy. Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't blame Mulder. Good for you, Mulder. Don't fill out those forms.
There's a conference I want to attend this summer, and and my boss was like, yeah, you can get reimbursed for that.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's for my work. But I was like, God, but having to fill out those forms, I was like, I don't know if it's worth it to get reimbursement.
I mean, like, Adam and I lead these student trips abroad, and he handles so much of it, a lot of the academic trips. He handles, like, doing a walking tour, leading these discussions, writing these questions. Well, and I start to feel like, God, am I doing anything? But then the travel expense report time comes, and I handle all that, and I'm like, nope, I've earned this.
Yeah.
If I have to. This is like the worst part.
Yeah. Adam for sure has the better end of that deal, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's different every year.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So Mulder wasn't doing
we get
those.
it.
Yeah. And Scully kind of goes out, Mulder goes in, and they're talking to him. And while Scully's like waiting for him, she's reading the paper, and there's a little headline about the toxic cleanup in Wisconsin was a success. And it's like, yep, they've cleaned everything. No signs of it. And Mulder starts ranting about how, like, you're covering something up, and there was something, he found some in, like, Max's medical records, that there was some weird implant in his brain. And then the colonel, who's at the hearing, is like, or no, I don't know that he's at the hearing. I'm sorry. They say, the colonel said this, that Max's body was found 2 hours later inside a cargo container in the warehouse, implying Max is dead. We know he's not, though, because he's in other episodes. But they're like, there's nothing weird about this. Max is dead.
Right. And somehow got into a cargo container.
Yeah, he didn't disappear. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that at the very least seems like someone did something to him. Like, shouldn't that be investigated? Even if that's not aliens?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because if you die of natural causes, you don't just normally end up inside a cargo container. Like,
yeah. Not usually.
Not usually. I mean, unless it's like the natural cause was you climbed into a cargo container and whatever was in there killed you. Like, it was I don't know.
Bear.
Yeah, I was going to say poison, but I like bear better.
Yeah.
Yeah, bear cargo.
Oh, bear cargo.
And so they're like, it looks like they're going to make the X-Files be closed. This hearing went very poorly for Mulder and Scully.
Okay.
But then we see somebody, and I'm sorry I forget. I've watched this 1 or 2 days ago, so I don't know how I'm forgetting. But someone, possibly Colonel Henderson, is talking to Deep Throat and is like, why did you go over my head and stop this? We should be closing the X-Files. Why did you prevent this?
So saying that Deep Throat prevented the closure of the X-Files.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And so I'm thinking, good job, Deep Throat.
Yeah, right.
But then Deep Throat says, having the X-Files open and having Mulder working on that is less dangerous than having him exposed to the wrong people. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And so I think the idea is have Mulder working on the X-Files where they can have a hand on what he's doing and be involved. And it's a real kind of eerie, unsettling ending. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I liked it.
Oh, and that's how it ends?
Yep, that's how it ends.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I thought, am I thinking of the other one with Max where he's on an airplane?
Yes, that's the other one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was expecting that to happen.
Yeah.
I cannot remember very much about Deep Throat, except that I know that he looks like the guy who also plays Mulder's father. And
my God.
In the
I forgot
episodes with
all
him,
about Mulder's father.
yeah,
Oh
he's got
my
one.
God, there's so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I forgot all about that. Ooh, that's exciting.
And so I know, like, at one point, Mulder's kind of, like, hallucinating or something, and we see him talking to someone, and I could never remember if that was supposed to be Deep Throat or Mulder's father. So my point is, I may be mixing things up. But I cannot remember entirely. I mean, Deep Throat is presumably on Mulder's side. Yes? I mean...
Presumably?
Right.
I mean, I think it's deliberately unclear.
Yeah.
Especially at this point.
Right.
But, I mean, I think we see some very gray sort of behavior from Deep Throat, where it's like, yeah. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah. I do think it's interesting, too. One thing that I want to keeping track of, too, is, like, what they are implying about aliens. So, like, here we see aliens being invisible, and we see them having, like, blinding, flashy powers.
Yes, that leave people with radiation burns.
Right.
Although it appears he didn't want to do that to Mulder. He just moved him out of the way. Just gave him a little zap. So
right.
they can
Which also,
it.
like, why?
Yeah.
And this kind of theme of radiation as well, I find interesting. And I know we talked about a while back about space radiation.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I still don't have a total handle on why there is just space radiation.
I mean, that's really not anything of major significance, I feel like. Okay. Stuff coming from the sun. I mean...
So is it coming from the sun, or is it...
I mean, mostly, but not entirely.
So what else is there? Why?
Anything
what else
that's like, I mean... Radiation is such a big term, you know, like a lot of things could be considered radiation.
Right.
What they're talking about in this episode is ionizing radiation. And I will say, like, I am speaking a little bit out of my depth here. Okay. This is not my specialty at all. And honestly, probably a chemist, hey, Wolf, maybe you have something to contribute about this, could speak more to this. But ionizing... If something is ionized, it goes from being neutral to being charged, right?
Yes.
And so ionizing radiation is some radiation that causes atoms to become ionized.
Oh,
and so that is a bigger deal and is bad for people.
Right. Yes. Okay. Why do you know that it's ionizing radiation in this case?
Oh, they said it? Oh, you mean...
did they?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the doctor says that's what it looks like, and Scully agrees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I thought something about the light that the alien gave off made you know that it was
no, God, no.
Okay.
Yeah, and she talks about how it's similar to what you see from people who lived through the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So I want to keep track of kind of what we're learning about the aliens, because I feel like it changes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I almost feel like this alien struck me as like kind of like Leo with the zappy powers. He's running around. He's all crazy. He gets through the fence. You know, he's real mobile.
Yeah.
And he's hard to catch.
Yeah.
And he's kind of I mean, Leo doesn't have the zapping, ionizing radiation powers, which is good because it'd make it a lot harder to catch him.
Thank God. Yeah, no kidding.
But otherwise, I'm not
your
seeing
dog
a huge difference.
He's after me. Now we're getting into Lilo and Stitch territory.
Oh.
You've never seen that?
I saw it once at your house, I think.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Stitch is actually an alien, but is pretending to be a dog.
Right. Got it. Yeah. It's, this is...
a lot like that.
It's a lot like that, yeah. So, yeah,
I feel like... Lilo and Stitch.
It is. It is, yeah. Your life is, and Leo is Stitch in this case, and Stitch is a creepy, invisible type alien dressed like a dog. I think that holds up, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
But, yeah, as opposed to some of the other aliens I think we see later that seem like they're smarter than people even, like they're really like sort of higher level beings, whereas this seemed more like chaotic, like Leo. You know,
like Leo.
He's out and about. He's kind of freaking out. He's everywhere. Yeah. He's like, you can't catch me. Zap. So, yeah.
The best analogy I can give for the chaos when Leo gets outside is when you're playing Super Mario and you you don't purposely get off your Yoshi, but like something knocks you off the Yoshi.
Yes.
And Yoshi gets
Yes.
this like crazed look in his
Yes.
eye and is running
Yes.
back and
He
forth.
starts, yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Leo. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the vibe I got from this alien,
Yeah.
except it was invisible. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
That's exactly what it's like. You're
Yeah.
so right. Yeah.
Yeah, because he gets this like real intense, crazed, panicked. It's not like a oh, I'm gonna go over here now. It's like
Yeah.
a run away.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
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 Cool. Well, yeah, I will probably watch the rest of that episode before going on to the next one because I like it.
Yeah.
What is the next one?
Eve.
Ooh,
Yes.
this is one of my favorites.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I like this one.
And it's got
Excellent.
Fraser Crane's Agent BB in like
Yeah.
her creepiest role.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
yeah.
Although BB herself on Frasier
fair
is pretty
enough,
intense. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is a great episode. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, until next week, and reminder, try not to be too confused by the numbering system that we've got going on. It's only going to get worse, and I'm only going to mess it up more, probably.
It's not messing it up though. It's just
No.
numbering our podcast
Well,
episodes.
No, I did
You
mess
did.
some stuff up, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay. All right, just roll with it. Just
Yeah.
listen to them.
Yeah. Yeah. it's
And
fine.
let us know your paranormal stories.
please.
And also let us know other stuff you're thinking.
Yeah.
Is your dog an alien or a Yoshi?
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.